I'm about to give you my first S tier rating on this channel. Hi, my name's Nick, and welcome to the cutting room where we talk indie horror. It's going to a horror comedy anthology about late stage capitalism. Grind 2026 follows four interconnected stories tied together by one evil fictional megacorporation called Dragon, and somehow makes the gig economy, MLMs, content moderation, and corporate exploitation genuinely terrifying and genuinely funny at the same time. So, let's talk about Grind. Yes. I did watch this as the other movies I've watched months ago. I should have put reviews out for Panic Fest. But the last two movies I've reviewed have been duds. I gave them a fair chance and I'm just over it. But luckily I found Grind. Grind was hilarious. Uh the production value was amazing. The sound was wonderful. The music was great. They hit it on all the notes. And it was, even though it said horror comedy, I was apprehensive. But this was actually funny and good and very, very relevant to today, as you heard. It has to do with all the things that, we've heard about over the last years with the gig economy and how that's going. So let's dive into it. The first one is MLM, which is multi-level marketing for anybody who doesn't know. We follow a character named Sarah struggling to sell Lala leggings. Sound familiar? It's supposed to probably didn't get the copyright for Lululemon. And she's falling behind on quotas, missing quotas triggers, and apparently you get the commercial in the beginning of like the leggings and how good they are, and all these women are jumping around in a backyard playing volleyball and things like that, choking each other out and choking each other with leggings. It's really funny. Um, we open up on Sarah with a Ring camera, trying to sell these leggings on a live stream, and she's not doing too well. And she's trying real hard, trying to have personality and trying to sell these leggings so she can make money like the rest of her friends, everybody else on the internet. And it's not hitting. So she kind of fails, for the day, and she calls her friend who got her into the whole thing, Molly, and she's complaining to her and like, oh, I miss this and I miss my quotas. And apparently, when you sign the contract, you're kind of signing the contract with the devil because actual curses happen. So she tells her, it's like, oh, since you missed your quota today and you didn't make this, you don't get the lip gloss or whatever, your husband's dick is gonna turn into a bird. And she's like, I'm sorry? She's like, your husband's dick is gonna turn into a bird. The most random sentence in the whole thing. Like that's why like I was laughing my ass off when I heard that. I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit here and watch this and see how this goes. So at some point, her husband like comes right next to her, giving her coffee or something like that, and she hears like wings flap and freaks her out. So then they're in bed together, and she like looks at his junk while they're in bed together under the covers, and like a fucking blue jay pops out, and it's fucking hilarious. So she's terrified, incredibly terrified, and like this kind of sets the tone for the whole, the rest of the things as well too. So I was like, this is, I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Um, uh, she tries to do it the next day, and she just gets people wanting to see her naked and stuff, and they think she's an OnlyFans girl or whatever. So she fails the next day, and so her friend's like, "Well, you failed 2 days in a row, and you're not gonna get this on the other end. Everything you love to eat is gonna turn to glitter." She's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "Yeah, everything you love to eat will just turn to glitter in your mouth." So she goes to eat. I forget the first thing she eats, but one of the things she eats is a chocolate bar. She's spews out glitter, and she tries it with a bunch of other things as well. If she even tries to drink water, spews out glitter. It just doesn't work. The only thing that works, and it's a funny thing, which I love. It's kind of a dig at like the protein shake bros. She gets this like almost a square protein shake container that says clam milk on it. It has a logo and everything, the letters, and it's hilarious. And that's the only thing that she can drink is like she takes a sip of it and she can barely keep it down. So she's freaking out and just doesn't know what to do. To throw everything away and just say screw it. I'm done. I'll take the curses or whatever. And her friend's like, no, if you don't sell stuff, the Axeman will come and, kill me." And she's like, "Who's the Axeman?" And she's like, "Oh, you didn't read this, you didn't watch the videos." And her friend Molly keeps telling her to watch the videos because apparently everything that she signed in the contract is in the videos. Um, and they keep mentioning that as a thing because Sarah just kinda, I guess, jumped in and didn't really, watch the videos or read the contract or anything. She just saw her friends do it and wanted to get on it. Um, so Molly helps her because Molly's life is in danger as well too. So Molly gets on the live stream with Sarah, and they're doing really well. Like they're getting, I think, 300 people, 300 lives. They're selling stuff. They're talking about like the turkey leggings, the cat leggings, the ones that look like the mysterious eye things that you saw in the in the late '90s or whatever. And they're doing really good. They're made their numbers, and then the boss lady, the founder, comes on, Barbara Crampton, and she's like, "Oh, you're not authorized to do a collab yet because you haven't gotten to like this tier yet. You haven't sold this many. You haven't done this many numbers and this quota stuff. So the X Men's gonna come today." And she's very matter of fact about it, and it kind of reminds me of Stay Tuned. That devil character. She kind of reminds me of that a lot, where she just pops into their live stream on their iPad or their computer and like disappears and threatens their lives. Um, Really good shit. And so they try stretching the leggings across the doors and the windows to like stop the X-Men from coming in, but he comes through and he's wearing like these space leggings that are like just have space on them and clouds or something. And they do this really wonderful shot where it's just like from his like calves up to his ass, and like his outfit, which is hilarious because they're still trying to show the leggings as well. And he busts through the door, his axe gets caught, and they're trying to scrub through the videos to find information about the X-Men and things, and trying to survive in the house and get away from him and everything. And then Molly remembers, "Oh yeah, you had to like go to this cruise and then be number one in the monthly draw of this thing to get your special powers." She doesn't know what she does, and she just like kind of like Hadoukens the X-Men, and he pauses like right there in like, I guess, Sarah's hobby room or whatever. And Sarah's like, "Oh, is he gonna disappear?" And Molly's like, "No, he's here forever. You just have to like move." So, but she's like, "Oh, once the X-Men comes through, like everything resets and the curse is over, so you're fine." She gets a delivery of like a burger, and she takes a big bite of it, and she says, "It's on glitter." And then the guy, the delivery guy's, "What?" So then we get into the next one, which is delivery. Um, we follow Benny, who's a Door Dasher. Um, and the beginning of this is just a montage of him door dashing, sleeping in his car, getting tipped really poorly, um, trying to get utensils out of people and stuff when he goes to these restaurants, um, trying to deliver stuff to people. He tries to deliver at someone's house when they're having a party. Keeps knocking, giving them their food, even though they like walk past him and stuff. And he keeps getting 1 star and 2 star reviews because he's late or he's not courteous enough or just doesn't do anything. And it's like this is all out, and it's all in California, which kind of tracks. You know, Everybody gets. I guess they just don't like that. He's trying, and yeah, he's not doing his best. They want it right now. If it's not here in 27 minutes, fuck him then, I guess. Um. So he's talking to his roommate. At a coffee shop, and we see Molly come through, and she has like the platinum membership for the coffee shop, where they can shove people out of the way and get to the front immediately. They make kind of a little funny dig at like having coffee shop memberships, or like I'm sure they're making fun of Starbucks because fuck Starbucks. Um, but then he gets a call for a really high paying delivery that he has to go. As soon as he gets there, the guy's giving him instructions, and before he even wants to leave, he already gives him like $800, I think. And so he finds the bag in this treasure chest crate where it's like this whole room of like books and dolls and all kinds of weird shit. And he keeps telling him, like follow the instructions specifically, follow the instructions, specifically. So he does. He gets in the car, and I see, the guy, the customer's like, "Oh, don't look in the bag." Looks in the bag, and it snaps him back to where he got the paper bag from in the treasure chest. And it's kind of a Groundhog Day thing. which I love the movie and I love the reference. So he has to keep not screwing up so he doesn't have to keep going back to the beginning. And so, he's instructed to drive down the road and go to this warehouse area. He goes to the basement and he sees glass everywhere. And the customer's like, "Oh, you need to walk on glass, with your shoes off." So he does. He diehards it and does it for a bit. And he gets to a section in the hallway where there's no more glass. And there's a man in the hood at the end, and the customer is saying, "Don't be scared. Just don't be scared." And the man in the hood is running at him full force. And he doesn't know what's gonna happen, so he's scared, he flinches, and then he's back at the beginning. So drive all the way back, do the glass, you know, not be afraid of the guy, and try to get through it. He misses a couple more times, and some other funny shit happens. He eventually gets to the, storage unit he's supposed to be at, and he presses, the doorbell, and when he presses the doorbell, it cuts the tip of his finger off, and he, freaks out. Back to the beginning, does it all again, cuts the finger off, and he's like, "Oh, put the bag inside." Puts the bag and tries to put the bag inside. It's just this red room with the target on the floor and a chair and a table and a TV playing some weird shit on it. Puts the thing on the puts the bag on the target. Entire room keeps turning, and the guy he keeps messing up. He keeps on going back to the beginning, and it's just like this frustrating callback to grinding and being delivery and how terrible that is and stuff. Um, but he puts the bag on the target in the room, so the room rotates. And it rotates again to where the target's above him, and he's just tired of playing games. Entirely tired of playing games. So he's like, "Screw it, I'll play one more game. Let's do it." So I guess the customer turns on the music, starts dancing his little ass off. The room rotates. He eventually puts the bag on the target, and he's like, "All right, I'm done. I did it. It's there." And then out pops a carbon copy of him. I guess a clone or some creature who's copied him while he's been doing this. And that's it. I guess the creature gets in the car and drives off and takes the delivery where it's supposed to be. And then we get to content moderation. This one I really liked because I just watched a movie recently about it called Faces of Death. It was kind of a remake of that, but not really. It's interesting, but it kind of fell off a little bit. Um, but for that one, for content moderation, we're following Joel, who's in the offices of the Dragon facility, and he's looking for a job. He's talking to who's it talking to? He's talking to, I think Danny's the guy, the CEO dude with the tech bro vest and the shirt. He's talking to him and telling him about the facility, and it's like, "Oh yeah, if you want to leave a meeting and go to Crab Roll, you can go to Crab Roll. We have 4 different restaurants, and there's pool table, the stuff. It's great here." And he's telling him, it's like, "Oh yeah, we'll pay you $175,000 a year for this." And he's like, "Oh my god, that's wonderful." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, here in the 4th floor, it's really great, it's awesome." But he then takes him to the pit, and you go down these stairs that are very open. It looks like you're actually going to a pit, and it's just this vast um, network of cubicles with people in them from far as the eye could see. And he's like, "Oh no, you're gonna work here. You start here, and once you finish your queue, you come to the 4th floor. But you got to finish your queue of content moderation or flagging or whatever it's called." And Joel asks him, "Oh, how big is the queue?" 6.25 million videos you have to go through and finish. And once you get to 0 and clean your plate, you come to the 4th floor. So we see a plethora of videos, horrible stuff, people in cages, people getting shot, people shooting themselves, um, mutilations, mistaken accidents, all kinds of things happen. And the exposure really starts to break Joel. He's seeing things. He has to have what is it? He has to get something called an eye bleach mix, which is just videos of puppies and kittens and flowers and meadows and shit and calming music. He's taking his own pills now. He has to take all this stuff so he doesn't, I guess, explode or off himself or whatever. And he's getting down. He's getting down. And he's doing the best he can. And both of his coworkers, actually, one of his coworkers is Benny's roommate. So we get a stitching of the stories in between each other all the way through, which I love. They had a very creative way of stitching the stories in between each other to kind of get a cohesive thing going. It was very, very cool. Um, but he's freaking out. He's, seeing things around corners. Keeps seeing the guy in the cage that says, "I'm on a dog," who's, in a couple of videos that he keeps getting. He goes, he gets all the way down to, I think, like 927, then he gets to like 800, and he's all the way down. But his coworkers are like, they're taking their own sweet time, and Ben, and Joel's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get down." And so, very last day, he, he gets to the last one. The last video he sees is him stabbing himself, and he just freaks out and doesn't know what to do. And so, he, uh, he goes up to the fourth floor and talks to Danny, and he's like, "Hey, I finished my stuff." And Danny's like, "No, you didn't. You missed one." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it doesn't. It seems like the AI who was watching you do work saw you kept freaking out and flagged you, and you're fired. So you need to get your shit and get out." And Joel's like, "What the fuck?" And so takes Danny down there to the pit to like see what's going on. And he takes one of the dude's letter openers, and just is so frustrated with the whole situation, he starts stabbing himself and kills himself. And the video that he sees is of Danny, the CEO dude with the tech vest, videoing him dying. And that is content moderation. Then the fourth one, Neptune Coffee. This is indicative of people unionizing in Starbucks, so get Neptune Coffee. The workers at a Dragon affiliated coffee shop are unionizing, and they cut the camera so Dragon can't watch them. Dragon in this, sorry to kind of say this in the middle of this review, but Dragon is Amazon in this whole thing. Yeah, so that's that's the one that's what they're making fun of is Amazon. But so the workers like close the door, they chain it and everything, they lock it, and they turn off all the cameras so Dragon can't see them. And they put in the paperwork, and they're unionized now. They're a unionized store. So they're all happy about it and everything. And Dragon obviously gets wind of this and sends them a mysterious package. And it's this large black refrigerator sized thing that's probably 6.5 feet tall. And they know what's happening. They're just very hesitant of Dragon and what they might do. One of the guys who's part of this whole thing and hates the store and hates capitalism or whatever, he glues his fucking hand to the order part of the table. He didn't think it through, so he's asking for like a pee bucket and a shit bucket and everything because like he didn't think it through. He just thought it'd be cool. Maybe he's trying to hit on one of the girls. Something, I don't know. He's just not all there. He's one of the, he's the Shaggy of the group. He's very Shaggy-esque looking in his demeanor. So we get we get this manager who's a dude who's very like about it and wants to who wants to do good or at least make sure everybody's safe because there's still fire code and things like that. And so he brings in the package. Todd is the one. He's still in his apron and hat and uniform, everything. He brings in the box, puts it in the back because it's really heavy and it starts to smell a little bit. And he opens it up, and it's just this giant, like, I don't know. I want to say vase or vessel. It's got the Neptune logo on top of this giant like brass or gold colored cap, and he throws it off, and it's just this tank of water. And he doesn't want to put his hand in it because you don't do that shit. He's a little smarter than that. So he puts a mop in there, or a mop handle, and the creature takes it and he's taken aback. And so, him and the other guy go outside and tell everybody, and then you realize it's a fucking mermaid. It's the Neptune creature that they have the coffee shop of. And so, that's what's going on. And so they try to the creature takes out Crow or whatever who had his hand on the table. He's eating him, and so he then the mermaid creature starts going around the whole area and taking everybody out. It's using its screaming power to scream at other employees and kill everybody and get things like that. Todd at some point says "fuck you" and unlocks the door and goes out to the car. We don't see him for a bit, and everybody's terrified. They're trying to run from this thing, and they don't know what's going on. And they start throwing things at it, and, eventually, it tries to attack one of the girls, and Todd comes up behind it and cuts its head off with a katana that he apparently didn't have, and he doesn't wanna be that nerdy guy, but, like, he has his katana, and it's really a funny part because he's trying to not be the nerdy guy, but he totally, like, goes into that whole samurai mode, and it's very funny. Um, in all honesty, this did remind me of, like, The Cabin in the Woods with, like, the underground government and the weird monsters they have to, like, go out and kill people. It kinda reminded me of that a little bit, so I like that aspect of it. Um, we do get the wrap up as well, which is, the founder of Lala Leggings and Andy, the dragon exec, are a couple, and you see them, like, talking. You see, the founder, the Lala Leggings founder, that doesn't really have a name, it's just founder, talking on an iPad to her, like, I guess, top sellers, 5 of them, is saying, like, "Hustle and sell," and you see Andy in the background doing these, like, really weak ass chair exercises to kind of be healthy, and so he gets a knock at the door, and he sees, like, this, like, black box, which is the same kind of colored box that the, coffee shop got from, Dragon. So, he's worried, he puts on the table and, his wife is like, "Oh, I thought you were, good at your job," and he's like, "Well, even I'm expendable." So he's, like, really hesitant because he knows what this means. But then she looks at the corner that's, like, shoddily painted or whatever, and they open it, and it's, like, the head of the mermaid, and it, does a jump scare, and it ends. Um, this was so much fun and so relevant. I will, um yeah, actually, let me go ahead and do the rankings as well, just to do this right. Here's my rankings. From S to F. S is Roger Corman. A is John Carpenter. B is Charles Band. C is Lloyd Kaufman. D is Jim Wynorski, and F is Rob Zombie. Like I said, I gave this one, if I can find it. I gave this one to Roger Corman because this was so good. It's well done. It was well written. It's funny. I really loved it. Um, it was it's definitely independent. It definitely you know really hit the zeitgeist of what's happening nowadays, and I truly enjoyed it. I will say my favorite one was probably MLM. The first one because it was very nonchalant, very like you didn't know what you were getting into. And there were curses and all kinds of weird things for selling leggings. Like I had no idea it was coming that way. And it was a little unhinged, a little off the wall, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that one was really well done. Um these guys were just at the Chattanooga Film Festival. It's happening right now or happened already. I wish I would have gone out and met them and talked to them because this was really good. I hope this comes out soon because it was so much fun. It was entirely worth it. But hopefully, like I said, this comes out soon. If once it does, I'll put it in the show notes of like where to watch it and where it is. Hopefully, it ends up on Prime or Tubi or something like that, where everybody can access it fairly easily. I hope they do a physical release as well, but these days it's hard to come by. Um, but yeah, until next time.